Alright, listen up, you beautiful sleep-deprived individuals. So many of you hit me up, slide into my DMs, asking, Nate, what is your secret sauce? How did you make bank? How are you living this dream life? And I tell you the truth. I spill the beans, and guess what? Most of you just don't believe me. You think there is some secret formula, some hidden crypto coin, some stock market cheat code, but it is not. It is literally the most boring, most obvious thing in the world. It is your damn morning. Yeah, I said it. Your morning, let me explain. Because this isn't some woo-woo spiritual awakening stuff. This is pure, unadulterated math and psychology wrapped up in a pretty profitable package. I've been honing my mornings for, like, the past 4 or 5 years. And I'm not gonna lie. It is not always perfect. I'm not some robotic productivity guru, but these habits, these simple, almost annoyingly simple habits, they haven't just made me more productive. They've made me happier, healthier, and yeah, wealthier. Because every dollar you earn, every investment you make, it starts with your decisions. And when do you make your first decisions of the day? In the morning, obviously. Think about it. If you wake up feeling like a stressed out, anxious mess, rushing around, spilling coffee on your last clean shirt, how do you think that is going to affect the rest of your day? Spoiler alert, it is going to suck. You're already behind, already reacting to the world instead of proactively shaping it. And that, my friends, is a recipe for mediocrity. At best, I'm not here to pretend I've got the most flawless schedule in human history. I'm not trying to be some perfect, unattainable ideal. Life happens. Sometimes you have a late night. Sometimes your kid throws up. Sometimes you just want to be a lazy bum. And that is okay. But the general principles, the core framework, that is what we're talking about. So, if you take only one thing from this entire rant, let it be this: create a buffer period, at least 1 hour, from the moment your eyes open until the moment you actually have to do something for someone else. Work, school, kids, whatever it is. Own glorious hour just for you. Because if you wake up at 7:50 and you gotta be at your desk by 8, you're not living, you're scrambling, you're a reactive mess, your brain is firing off stress hormones like confetti at a bad party. And trust me, nobody makes good decisions when they're frazzled. Especially not financial ones. You'll rush through your breakfast, forget your keys, maybe even leave your dignity at home. We've all been there, sprinting out the door feeling like a hot mess. And let me tell you, that is a terrible way to start a day, especially a day where you're supposed to be conquering the world, or at least your to-do list. So, even if my day is packed, even if I have a mountain of work staring at me, I prioritize that 1 hour buffer. It is my time to slowly, intentionally boot up my system like an old but reliable computer. Before I dive into the chaos of emails and spreadsheets, this is where I get to be a human, not just a worker bee. Super important, right? But here's another one that is absolutely critical. And this one might sting a little because it goes against everything you've probably heard. Wake up at the same damn time every single day, no matter what. I know, your brain is probably screaming. But what about my 8 hours of sleep? For years, I was that person. My head hit the pillow, I'd set an alarm for 8 hours later, thinking I was being smart, being healthy, and it was a huge mistake. Because your body, my friend, it is not a dumb machine. It has got an internal clock, a biological rhythm, and you cannot trick it. Trying to wake up at 9:30 on Tuesday, 5 a.m. on Wednesday, 7 a.m. on Thursday, and then 10 a.m. on Friday. That is just a recipe for chronic exhaustion. You're literally messing with your internal alarm clock, confusing your poor body. It is like trying to navigate a ship without a compass. You're just gonna drift. I've learned this the hard way, traveling all over the globe, Europe, Asia, hopping across time zones like it is a game. Your body craves consistency. It thrives on routine. So I shifted my sleep schedule. Now, I wake up at the exact same time every day without fail. Even if I only got 3 hours of sleep, I'm still up. And if I'm tired, if I didn't get enough rest the night before, I just go to bed earlier the next night. Simple as that. This creates an internal alarm clock, a consistency that your body thanks you for. And it also helps you avoid that dreaded accidental sleep. And because every minute you oversleep, that is a minute you could have been building your empire, or at least, making your bed. Which brings me to my next point. This is going to sound so stupidly simple, you'll probably roll your eyes, but I'm telling you, half of you aren't doing it. Make your bed every single morning for most of my college years. My bed was a disaster zone, a crumpled mess of sheets and pillows. I'd just roll out of it and go, thinking I was too important for such trivial tasks. But then I realized something: if my physical space is messy, unorganized, chaotic, my brain feels the same way. It is like trying to think clearly in a room full of clutter. Impossible. It takes 30 seconds. Literally 30 seconds. The first thing I do when I wake up, after my buffer period, is make my bed. It is a small win, but it creates a sense of order, a feeling of accomplishment, that spills over into the rest of my day. There is a reason the military makes you do this stuff. It is about creating order, instilling discipline, because if you can't even manage your own bed, how are you going to manage your finances, your career, your entire life? You can't be sloppy in the small things and expect to be sharp in the big things. Alright. Moving on, this next one also sounds painfully obvious, but I can almost guarantee most of you are not doing it. I look at my friends, and I see this mistake constantly. And I don't want to sound all righteous or preachy, but seriously, people, after I make my bed, I drink a very, very big glass of water. Like a really big one. You wake up. You've been sleeping for 8 hours. That is a third of your day. And guess what? Every time you breathe, you're exhaling moisture. You're literally dehydrating yourself for 8 hours straight. So when you wake up, you're parched, your body is screaming for water, and what do most people do? They reach for the coffee. Don't get me wrong. I love coffee, but it is not a substitute for hydration. I've seen so many people, they'll chug a few cups of coffee, and it is 2 or 3 in the afternoon before they've had a single drop of water. You're setting yourself up for failure, for brain fog, for sluggishness. I drink about 32 ounces of water in that first hour, before my day even truly begins. And honestly, I think it is better than coffee, better than any energy drink. It wakes up your body, kickstarts your metabolism, and clears your mind. So just drink some water. It is not rocket science. It is basic human biology. Next up, journaling now. Before you roll your eyes and think this is some woo, self-help BS, hear me out. I've been doing this for almost 10 years, and it takes me like 2 to 3 minutes a day, seriously. That is it, 2 to 3 minutes. And it is not always about writing down positive affirmations or gratitude lists. Sometimes it is about getting all the crap out of my head right. Now, I'm in a phase where I'm writing down all the things that bother me, all the things I want to improve, whether it is a physical ache or a mental block. And by writing it down, I can track my progress. I can look back and see how far I've come, how I've overcome challenges. 3 months ago, my knee was bothering me. I wrote it down, and every day, I focused on it, on finding solutions, on improving it. And guess what? It is better. In today's world, we're so good at sweeping things under the rug, ignoring the little pain points, the stresses, until they become big, overwhelming problems. You feel agitated. You don't know why. You're having a bad day, but you can't pinpoint it. It is those underlying issues, those things you've been ignoring. Journaling helps you identify them, helps you confront them. It is like therapy, but cheaper, and you can do it in your pajamas. It doesn't have to be some profound scientific endeavor, just write. Even if it is just a few sentences, it is a way to clear your head, to process your thoughts. And I genuinely believe it is one of the main reasons I've had any success in my life. Being able to go back, track my thoughts, see my evolution, it is amazing. And I can't wait to look back at all these stacks of journals when I'm 80 and see what was going on in my crazy brain. Alright, so the final thing I do in that sacred buffer period, yes, I eat breakfast, but I'm not going to tell you what to eat. Everyone's a nutritionist these days. Everyone has the best diet. Eat what you want. Some people fast, some people don't. It is your call. I'm not getting into that minefield, but besides eating, the one thing I do focus on is some form of meditation or just getting outside. Again, this doesn't take long, maybe 10-15 minutes, tops. I'm not a morning exercise fanatic. I've got friends who run marathons before the sun even thinks about rising. Good for them. That is not me. I prefer to work out later in the afternoon, and I don't feel like I have to conform to this idea that I need to be some super soldier waking up at 4 a.m. to be successful. That is just not necessary for a happy, healthy, or successful life. But getting outside, even for a few minutes, even if it is just stepping onto your balcony and taking a few deep breaths, it grounds you, it connects you to something bigger than yourself. And if you've seen my meditation video, you know why I'm a big proponent of it. The benefits are undeniable. So, to recap, because I know I just threw a lot at you, be proactive, not reactive. Create that 1 hour buffer, wake up at the same time every day, make your damn bed, hydrate like your life depends on it. Because it does. Journal your thoughts, even for a few minutes, and get some fresh air. Some quiet time to set your intentions. These aren't flashy, get rich, quick schemes. These are fundamental habits that lay the groundwork for everything else. For your financial success, your mental well-being, your overall happiness. So, if you found this video helpful, if I managed to wake you up a little bit, drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments. What are your morning habits? What do you swear by? What do you want to change? I'm always looking for ways to optimize, to improve, to get that extra edge. Stay boring, stay patient, peace.